Hi guys, today we are going to look at the factors that affect population, so let's start off with a big question. What factors cause the population to grow or shrink? Now to answer this question, we first have to divide up all the factors into two categories, abiotic and biotic. So let's start off with abiotic factors. In simple words, an abiotic factor is a factor that is not derived from living organisms. It includes competition, lack of resources, immigration, and emigration. So competition is the interaction between species in which birth, growth, and death depend on gaining a share of limited natural resources. So as the competition goes up, then the population goes down because there aren't enough resources for each member of the species. But if the competition goes down, it means that these species have more access to these resources, which means that the population will go up. So scarcity in resources occur when there are too many members of a species compared to the amount of resources. This will lead to a lack of resources, which will ultimately lead to the cause of a population decrease. Immigration is when species move into a certain place, and emigration is when species move out of a certain area. Now we will move on to my triple A. I could wait to work. Biotic is the opposite of abiotic. It is when something is related to or results from a living thing. Biotic factors include predation, disease agents, birth rate, and death rate. So predation is the preying of one animal on others. This generally makes the population go down. Disease agents are germs that harm species in an environment, leading to an overall decrease in the population. Sometimes disease agents can take out huge populations. For example, the bubonic plague once took out 1/3 of Europe's population. Birth rate is the rate of species being born. This means that an increase in birth rate would equal an increase in population, and a decrease in birth rate will also equal a decrease in population. Death rate is the opposite of birth rate. Death rate is the rate of species dying. This is a chart of the factors that increase or decrease the population. Guys, keep in mind that these aren't all the factors that affect the population. There are many other factors that can also influence it. Now, I will move on to my second part of my presentation, and it will be about the different parts of a population chart. There are 4 phases to a population chart. The first phase is the lag phase. The second phase is the exponential phase. The third phase is the stationary phase, and the last phase is the death phase. Okay, so the lag phase is the part of the chart that's curved, and so it occurs when the population first starts to increase. It doesn't increase like the exponential phase because it takes time for the species to mature in order to reproduce. The exponential phase is the part of the chart where the population increases rapidly. The exponential phase occurs when these species have all matured and can reproduce. They also have a lot of resources, which means that the population can constantly grow until the third phase. The third phase is the stationary phase. After the exponential phase reaches the carrying capacity, it goes into the stationary phase where the population remains constant. The population will not increase anymore because they are starting to run out of resources. After the stationary phase is the last phase, which is the death phase. Death phase is the part of the chart where the population plunges. The death phase occurs when there are more species than the amount of resources. Since the resources cannot support the population starts to fall steeply. After the death phase, the cycle of these 4 phases will continue over and over again. From this, we can see how these 4 factors affected the increase or decrease of the population. The increase in birth rate caused the lag phase. The abundant resources caused the exponential phase, the lack of resources caused the stationary phase, and the increase in death rate caused the death phase. I hope this lesson helped you guys understand more about the population and what affects it. Thank you for listening, and good luck on your exams.